Hi, Reddit. I'm a 21-year-old software engineer, and this situation has been building for months. I need outside opinions because my family is acting like I committed some kind of betrayal. For context, I graduated early from college last year and got a job as a junior developer at a small startup. It's not glamorous, but for someone my age, it's a big deal. I make decent money, and I'm still learning every day. My family doesn't really understand what I do. To them, anything involving computers means I can magically fix it. Printer broken? Ethan. Wi-Fi slow? Ethan. Forgot Facebook password? Ethan. You get the idea. Normally I don't mind helping, but things escalated recently because of my sister Lena. Lena is 27 and runs a small baking business from home. She makes custom cakes, cupcakes, and dessert tables for birthdays and weddings. To be fair, she's actually good at it. Her cakes look amazing and she gets a lot of orders through Instagram. But Lena has always been, let's just say, very used to getting her way. Growing up, she was the favorite. My parents never hid it. If Lena wanted something, the answer was usually yes. If I wanted something, the answer was usually maybe later. I didn't resent her for it at the time. I just focused on school and computers. About 4 months ago, Lena came to me with what she called a small favor. She asked if I could build her a website. I said maybe. I asked what kind of website. She said something like, a simple one, just so customers can order cakes online. That sounded simple on the surface, but when I started asking questions, the list kept growing. She wanted online ordering, payment processing, custom cake options, delivery scheduling, a photo gallery, customer accounts, automatic order notifications, mobile optimization. That's not a simple website. That's basically a full e-commerce system. I told her that would take a lot of time. She said, but it's easy for you, right? I told Lena I could maybe help her set up something simple using Shopify or Squarespace, but building a full custom system from scratch would take weeks or months. She frowned immediately. She said she wanted something unique. Then she asked the question that started everything. How much would you charge? I told her honestly. For something like that, freelance developers charge $2,000 to $5,000 or more. I told her if I did it for her, I'd charge $800 just because she's family. She looked offended. She said, why would I pay my own brother? After that conversation, she didn't bring it up again for a while. I assumed she decided to use one of those website builders. Problem solved. Or so I thought. 2 weeks later, we had dinner at my parents' house. Halfway through dinner, my dad suddenly says, so Ethan, when will Lena's website be ready? I froze. I had no idea what he was talking about. I said, what website? My sister smiled. The one you're making for me. That's when I realized something was wrong. Apparently, I had already agreed. According to Lena, she had told my parents that I already agreed to build the website. I said it would only take a few days. I would do it for free. I never said any of that, but my parents believed her. My dad immediately started giving me that disappointed look. You know, the one parents use when they think you're being selfish. He said, your sister is trying to build a business. Why can't you support her? I tried explaining. I calmly explained that building a full website takes time. Time I barely have because I work full-time. My dad shrugged and said, you sit at a computer all day anyway. My mom added, it would be good practice for you. That comment annoyed me more than it should have, because this isn't practice. This is literally my profession. Instead of helping clarify the situation, Lena doubled down. She pulled out her phone and started showing everyone cake photos. Then she said, imagine how many orders I'd get if my brother actually helped me. The way she said it made it sound like I was refusing to support her success. Marco, her fiancé, tried to lighten the mood by saying maybe they could hire someone else. Lena immediately shut that down. No, Ethan can do it. Then the truth came out. Lena had already told several customers that her website was launching soon. She had promised them online ordering, meaning she committed to something that didn't exist yet. And now she expected me to build it quickly so she wouldn't look bad. I told her something simple. If you want the website, I can build it, but you'll have to pay the discounted price we talked about. The table went silent. My dad looked genuinely shocked. You're charging your sister? My mom looked hurt. Lena looked furious. Lena slammed her fork down and said, "Wow, I didn't realize my own brother cared more about money than family." I tried explaining again that this would take dozens of hours of work, but my dad interrupted me. When your cousin needed help moving, he didn't charge you. That comparison made zero sense. Helping someone move for a day is not the same as building software. Things escalated. Lena started crying, real tears, which made my parents immediately take her side. My mom said, "Why are you doing this to your sister?" My dad added, "You're being selfish." I felt like I was going insane. Up until this point, my Uncle Ramon had been quiet. Then he suddenly said something that changed the entire mood. He looked at Lena and asked, "How much did you pay for your oven?" She said about $1,200. Then he asked, "And if someone asked you to bake 200 cupcakes for free, would you do it?" She hesitated. He nodded and said, "Exactly." But even that didn't end the fight. My dad said, "Family is different." Then he turned to me and said something that stuck with me. "You make good money now. Don't forget who helped you get here." That part hurt. Because the truth is, I paid for most of my college with scholarships and part-time work. But arguing about that would only make things worse. So I made a decision. I said, "Okay, I won't build the website." Everyone looked shocked. I clarified, if Lena wants one, she can hire someone, or I can help her set up a simple site for free using a template. But I refused to build a full custom system. She called me dramatic. She said I was sabotaging her business. Then she stormed out of the house. Marco followed her. Dinner ended shortly after that. For the next few weeks, things were awkward. My mom kept sending me passive-aggressive messages like, "Family should help each other." My dad barely spoke to me. Lena blocked me on Instagram. About a month later, Lena hired a freelance developer. I know this because she complained about the price. Apparently, the quote she received was $3,200. Suddenly, my $800 offer didn't look so bad. Last week, she texted me again. Her message said, "Can you just finish the website? The developer is taking too long." I haven't responded yet. Part of me wants to help, but another part of me feels like if I give in now, this will happen again forever. So Reddit, am I the asshole for refusing to build my sister's website after my parents volunteered my work for free? Because according to my family, I'm the selfish one. But honestly, I feel like I'm just setting a boundary. Let me know in the comments. Update. Hi Reddit. I honestly didn't expect my first post to get so much attention. A lot has happened since then, and several people asked for an update, so here it is. If you didn't read my first post, the short version is that my 27-year-old sister Lena expected me, a 21-year-old software engineer, to build her a full custom e-commerce website for free after telling my parents I had already agreed to do it. I refused. My parents said I was selfish. My sister blocked me, and then she hired a developer who quoted her $3,200, which was apparently outrageous to her. Now here's where things get even messier. About 3 weeks after the whole dinner argument, I got a text from Lena out of nowhere. The message said, "Can you just finish the website? The developer is taking forever." No apology. No, "Hey," just straight to asking for help. I didn't answer right away because I wasn't sure what to say. Part of me wanted to ignore it, but another part of me wanted to know what was going on. So I asked a simple question. What happened to the developer? Her response came quickly. Apparently, the developer she hired had already built about 70% of the website, but Lena kept asking for changes. A lot of changes. At first it was small things like colors and fonts. Then it turned into adding a loyalty program, adding a cake customization tool, allowing customers to upload inspiration photos, a delivery tracking system, a live chat feature. Basically, turning a small bakery site into something that sounded closer to a mini Amazon for cakes. The developer told her those features would require extra work and extra payment. Lena didn't like that. According to Lena, the developer was being greedy. According to the messages she showed me later, the developer was actually being pretty reasonable. He explained that every new feature meant additional development time. He even offered her a discounted rate, but Lena refused. Eventually, the developer paused the project until she paid the additional invoice. Instead of paying it, she texted me. I told her something very simple. I'm not taking over someone else's project. Anyone who works in software knows this rule. Jumping into someone else's unfinished codebase is like trying to finish someone else's half-built puzzle without the box. It's messy, it's confusing, and it usually takes longer than starting from scratch. Lena didn't like that answer. She tried the family card again. Within an hour, my phone started blowing up. Not from Lena, from my mom. She sent a message saying, "Your sister is really stressed. Can't you just help her?" Then my dad called. He didn't even ask how I was. The first thing he said was, "I heard you're refusing again." Again, like I was some kind of villain in this story. I explained everything. I calmly explained the situation. Taking over the project would mean reviewing thousands of lines of someone else's code, fixing potential bugs, rebuilding features if the structure was bad, possibly working 40 to 60 hours to finish it. My dad's response? "You're young. You have time." That sentence nearly made me laugh, because apparently in his mind, my free time is just a resource the family can allocate. Things might have stayed at that level if it weren't for Lena's engagement party. She and her fiancé Marco were hosting a small celebration at our parents' house. I almost didn't go, but my mom insisted it would mean a lot to Lena if I came. That should have been my first warning. About halfway through the party, Lena clinked a glass to get everyone's attention. She thanked everyone for coming. Then she started talking about her bakery. Then she said something that made my stomach drop. "My brother Ethan is building a custom website for the business." Everyone clapped. I just sat there, completely stunned. I never agreed. She didn't ask me. She didn't warn me. She just announced it to an entire room of relatives. My cousin immediately came over and said, "That's awesome, man. When is it launching?" I had no idea what to say. Lena looked at me with this expectant smile, like she was daring me to contradict her. So I did. I stood up and said, "Actually, I'm not building the website." The room went silent. You could hear forks hitting plates. Lena's smile disappeared instantly. She asked loudly, "What do you mean?" I kept my voice calm. "I mean, I never agreed to that." She tried to laugh it off. "Oh, come on, Ethan, don't joke." So I repeated it. "I'm serious." My dad lost his patience. My dad pulled me aside and whispered angrily, "Why are you embarrassing your sister?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She had just lied to an entire room of people. But somehow I was the one causing embarrassment. Then my Uncle Ramon, the same one from the dinner, stepped in again. He asked Lena a simple question. "Did Ethan say he would build it?" She hesitated. Then she said, "Well, he didn't say no." I almost laughed, because that's not how agreements work. Marco finally spoke up. Up until this point, Lena's fiancé Marco had stayed quiet, but this time he actually said something. He told Lena that maybe she should stop pressuring me. The room got awkward. Lena looked shocked that he said that in front of everyone. After that, the mood was ruined. People started leaving earlier than planned. Lena barely spoke to me the rest of the night. My parents were furious, but Uncle Ramon patted my shoulder and said something that stuck with me. "You did the right thing." 2 days later, Marco messaged me privately. He apologized for the situation. Then he told me something surprising. The developer Lena hired had actually finished the website, but Lena refused to launch it because it didn't include all the extra features she demanded. So now we're here. As of right now, Lena still wants me to finish the site. My parents still think I should help. The developer still hasn't been fully paid, and the website is sitting unfinished. Meanwhile, Lena keeps telling people it's almost ready. I told my family one final thing. If Lena wants help, I'll do one of two things. Help her launch the website the developer already built. Help her set up a simple online store using a platform like Shopify. But I'm not building a custom system from scratch, and I'm definitely not doing it for free. So Reddit. Now my family says I'm being stubborn, but honestly, I feel like I'm just protecting my time and my profession. Because if I give in once, this will never stop. Am I still the asshole here? Update. Hi Reddit. I didn't expect to make a third update, but the situation with my sister somehow escalated into something I never imagined. A lot of people asked what eventually happened with the website, the developer, and my family. Well, the short version is that the website situation turned into a legal dispute. My sister's engagement is now on the verge of collapsing, and my parents somehow still think I'm the root of the problem. So here's the full story. About 2 weeks after the engagement party disaster, Lena finally launched her bakery website. Not because she wanted to, because the freelance developer basically gave her an ultimatum. Either she launches the site as it is, or he walks away from the project entirely. From what Marco told me later, the developer had already spent almost 2 months building the site. At that point, he just wanted to be done with it. So Lena reluctantly launched the website. And for about a week, everything seemed fine. Orders started coming in, people liked the design, customers were posting screenshots of the site on Instagram. For a moment, I thought maybe the drama was finally over. I was wrong. About 10 days after the launch, Lena called me for the first time in months. Not to apologize, to complain. Apparently, the website had a bug where certain custom cake options weren't saving correctly when customers placed orders, which meant some orders came through missing details. This wasn't a catastrophic bug. It just meant Lena had to message a few customers to clarify their orders. But to her, this was unacceptable. She immediately blamed the developer. Instead of asking the developer to fix it, Lena sent him a long email. And when I say long, I mean several paragraphs accusing him of incompetence. She told him, the website was poorly built. The features weren't what she expected. The bug proved the entire system was unreliable. Then she demanded a full refund for a project he had already completed. The developer replied very calmly. He said bugs happen in software and he would fix it, but refunds were not possible because the work had already been delivered. He also reminded her that several of the features she wanted were never part of the original agreement. That's when Lena escalated things. She told him that if he didn't refund her money, she would leave negative reviews, report him on freelance platforms, consult a lawyer. Most freelancers would probably panic. This guy didn't. Instead, he sent one message that changed everything. He attached their original contract. When Lena hired the developer, she signed a standard freelance agreement. It included things like scope of work, payment terms, feature limitations, support period. But there was one clause Lena apparently never read, a clause about chargebacks and false claims. If the client tried to falsely dispute payment after receiving the completed project, the developer had the right to pursue legal recovery plus damages. Lena thought it was just a scare tactic, so she ignored it. Instead of negotiating, Lena contacted her bank and attempted a chargeback on the payment she had already made. Basically, she told the bank the service was never delivered properly, which was technically false because the website was live and functioning. The developer found out almost immediately, and that's when things stopped being a family argument and started becoming a legal issue. A A week later, Lena received an email from a law firm representing the developer. The email included screenshots of the completed website, copies of the contract, records of Lena requesting additional features outside the original scope, and then the final line. If Lena did not withdraw the chargeback and settle the remaining balance, they would file a claim for breach of contract and damages. The amount they listed was almost $8,000. That's when Lena finally told my parents what was happening, and suddenly the entire family was in crisis mode. My mom called me crying. My dad called me angry. And their solution? Ethan, can you fix the website so the developer will drop the case? I had to explain something that should have been obvious. I can't fix a legal dispute. Around this time, Marco finally reached his breaking point. He told Lena she should have just paid the developer and launched the site without all the extra drama. They had a huge argument. Apparently, the fight got so bad that Marco temporarily moved back to his apartment, which meant the wedding planning stopped completely. During another family gathering, my Uncle Ramon said something nobody else wanted to say. He looked at Lena and said, "This didn't happen because of Ethan. This happened because you refused to listen." The room went silent. My dad didn't respond. My mom looked uncomfortable, but nobody argued with him either. As of today, Lena withdrew the chargeback. She still owes the developer a remaining balance. The website is still running. The wedding is currently on hold. And the weirdest part? My parents still occasionally suggest that if I had just built the website from the start, none of this would have happened. I told them one last thing. If Lena wants advice about running her website, I'll help. But I'm never again letting my professional work become a family obligation. Because this whole situation proved something important. The problem was never the website, it was expectations. So after everything that happened, the arguments, the engagement drama, and now a legal dispute, was I wrong for refusing to build the website in the first place? Because if I had said yes back then, I have a feeling I'd be the one dealing with that lawsuit right now.